I'm Sally Entrican. I'm a professor in entomology, and our group studies how clean streams, rivers, and wetlands are based on what aquatic insects tell us about the stream health. So people all over the world use aquatic insects and their relatives like snails and amphipods and isopods to figure out how clean the water is. And the reason is that there's over 300,000 species. So they're the most diverse animals on Earth, and they're very selective in where they live. For example, if you take this creek and you look at all the different types of habitat, we've got the pool where there's not much flow, fast flow and big rocks, that's a riffle. And then downstream it starts to slow down a little bit more, but it's still flowing, that's a run. So all three of those distinct habitats support a very different type of aquatic insect, and we can predict who's going to be there. If it's in a pool, it's going to be burrowed down and eating the fine sediment. If it's in a riffle, it's going to be clinging. It has things on its body like hairs to collect the fine particles to eat. And then if it's in a run, it's probably a combination of those two things. So if they're not there, we know we have an unhealthy stream. We can even get a little bit more specific than that. For example, what are they eating? Well, there aren't a lot of options for what bugs can eat in streams. They can eat leaf litter and wood. There's a very specific group of aquatic insects, stoneflies and craneflies, that have microbes in their gut that help them digest this material. But they should be here. If they're not, we've got a problem. And then if you look on the rocks, we have net spinning caddisflies that are filtering the fine particles. If they're not here, we've got a problem. The benefit of using an aquatic insect to assess stream health is that, you could just take a water sample. We can look at the water conditions, the temperature, the dissolved oxygen for today, and maybe it tells us it's pretty clean, it's pretty clear. But what's happened over the entire year? You can't just come out and sample continuously for this information. The bugs do it for us. They're here for at least a year typically. They're reflecting the conditions of 4 seasons. The state, federal government, they have very specific protocols for figuring out if you have a healthy stream just based on the bugs alone. And so that's what we teach in a lot of our classes. And generally speaking, is the more different types of bug you have, the healthier the stream. And then not just who they are, but what they're doing. Are they clinging and filtering food? Are they crawling around and eating leaf litter? Are they big predators? That consortium of different types of organisms tells us if it's healthy or not. For example, you only have a few types of mayfly. Well, that doesn't make any sense here. So that tells us that maybe there's leaf litter missing. Maybe you've lost the riparian area. Whatever's happening in the valley is going to support the habitat and the food types for the bugs. If the valley is intact, but the bugs are still not there, that means pesticides, some type of other type of contaminant. We can really get a very specific idea of what's impacting these streams if we're not finding who we expect based on the landscape, the bugs, and then taking a closer look at the water quality. Aquatic insects, they're one of the most imperiled species on Earth, along with freshwater mussels, and you've probably heard about the hellbenders that are vertebrates. Well, all of them live together in the Central Appalachians and a few other places, but we have some of the greatest diversity on Earth for freshwater invertebrates, and they really have to have this large woody debris here with leaf litter and then lots of oxygen. So as water flows down through these riffles, it picks up oxygen. And so this coupling of stable substrate along with this oxygenated area is where you get all of your most sensitive aquatic insects. And that would be your stoneflies, your mayflies, and your caddisflies. And in fact, we've already lost 15% of the diversity of stoneflies on Earth. So everybody uses aquatic insects to understand stream health, but we're also losing them at the same time. And so that's compromising our ability to understand how to really protect our streams if we don't have the most sensitive invertebrates present to tell us there's a problem. One thing we can do is really keep the wood, let organic matter, leaf litter accumulate, and have it near these riffle areas, because this is going to be a hot spot where all of your what we call EPT taxa hang out together and complete their life cycle. Healthy streams include a diversity of aquatic insect and their relatives in the riffles, the pools, and the debris accumulations, so they can complete their immature life cycle and then emerge as aerial adults.